The Earth humanity once knew was a testament to the species' ambition, perseverance, and innovation. It was a time when humans could look up to the stars with pride, knowing that their scientific and technological advances had paved the way for a brighter, more connected future. Humanity had achieved what was once thought impossible. Major global conflicts, though never fully eradicated, had become far less frequent. With cooperative agreements between nations, global resources were distributed efficiently, and peacekeeping missions, sometimes in war-torn regions, were executed with surprising success. Poverty, once a seemingly insurmountable issue, was largely alleviated. The diseases that had plagued humanity for centuries were nearly wiped out, thanks to scientific breakthroughs in medicine. Thanks to sustainable energy solutions, Earth was flourishing, and humanity had unlocked the potential to protect its environment while also growing its technological reach. The world's metropolises, New York, Tokyo, Berlin, Cape Town, were towering symbols of human achievement. These cities, the heart of Earth's global economy, were shining beacons of modern civilization. Technological marvels such as self-driving cars, artificial intelligence assistants, and skyscrapers that pierced the heavens seemed ordinary to those living in this advanced world. The average person could travel to Mars in a matter of days, while space stations, orbiting satellites, and planetary research outposts dotted the heavens. It seemed that humanity's reach had surpassed its grasp in every conceivable way. Earth had become a global village, its nations bound together in shared prosperity, facing new challenges with confidence and hope. However, despite all of these successes, there was an undercurrent of unease. Beneath this apparent tranquility lay an ancient fear, a primal dread of the unknown. For centuries, humanity had wondered, what lies beyond the stars? Are we truly alone, or is there something out there, something far more advanced and dangerous than we could ever imagine? Science fiction writers, philosophers, and governments alike had speculated about the existence of extraterrestrial life, but no one had taken these fears seriously. At least not seriously enough to prepare for what was about to happen. It started slowly. A few unusual signals from distant parts of the galaxy, some strange electromagnetic pulses detected in deep space. Scientists shrugged them off as cosmic flukes, an anomaly, perhaps, caused by a comet or a distant star passing through a nebula. But these strange occurrences began to intensify. Space stations received encrypted transmissions, too complex for human minds to interpret. Telescopes began to track strange objects moving erratically across the galaxy. Some appeared to be vast, solid structures, much larger than any man-made spacecraft. Others seemed to bend and warp, as if they were made from living materials. By the time the massive alien ships appeared, it was too late. They didn't arrive in fleets, nor did they announce their arrival in any way. At first, it was just a single ship, a colossal, towering structure that seemed to pierce the heavens like a jagged mountain, floating silently above Earth. It wasn't a spaceship in any conventional sense. It didn't resemble anything humanity had ever conceived. Its shape was organic, fluid, shifting, like a massive creature that had evolved in the depths of space rather than built from steel and metal. It was as if it had grown naturally, its surface alive with pulsating energy. The ship's mere presence over Earth created a wave of fear, a dread so deep it resonated in the hearts of every person who gazed upon it. The very air seemed charged with an unnatural energy, and for the first time in history, the Earth felt small, insignificant, vulnerable. Then, more ships appeared. Dozens at first. Hundreds, then thousands. They flooded the sky, blotting out the sun. As the ships descended, they cast a heavy, oppressive shadow over the Earth. Cities trembled beneath their enormous weight. There was no communication. No broadcast. No message of peace or demand for surrender. For all of humanity's efforts to reach out to the stars, these visitors from beyond didn't seem interested in communication at all. The silence was deafening. And then came the first devastating assault. Without warning, a beam of concentrated energy shot down from the alien ships. It was a blast so powerful that it turned entire skyscrapers to ash in an instant. The initial wave of destruction was swift and merciless, targeting the world's greatest cities. In the days that followed the initial attacks, the alien invaders continued to expand their control over Earth. While their ships remained hovering above the planet, their ground forces began systematically establishing massive fortresses across the surface. Entire cities, once bustling with life, were now abandoned and reduced to hollow shells, their citizens either exterminated or enslaved. The alien forces quickly set up enormous biomechanical bases, many of which seemed to grow directly out of the Earth's surface. These alien strongholds, twisted and monstrous, seemed to meld with the landscape itself, and the very ground they stood upon seemed to tremble under their weight. Humanity's once proud military forces, scattered and broken, attempted to mount a defense, but their efforts were futile. Armies, once equipped with the most advanced weapons in history, were swept away with ease by the aliens' overwhelming technology. The resistance, what remained of the military, remnants of the world's most skilled soldiers, engineers, and civilians, had to retreat into the shadows. Many took refuge in underground bunkers, far away from the reach of the alien invaders. The larger cities, now conquered, had been transformed into alien hubs, where humanity was forced into labor camps. The resistance's hope seemed all but lost. It was then that Dr. Eva Carter, a brilliant scientist who had worked in advanced bioengineering before the invasion, uncovered a breakthrough. While investigating alien technology in the remnants of a destroyed military base, she discovered a vulnerability in the alien ship's shield systems. She and a small group of engineers managed to reverse engineer the alien technology, creating a weapon capable of temporarily disabling the shields, allowing human forces to strike back with the little technology they had left. This discovery, though minute in comparison to the alien forces' overwhelming power, was humanity's first real victory. A small band of resistance fighters, led by Dr. Carter, managed to infiltrate one of the alien fortresses in the ruins of Paris, and by using their newly developed technology, they succeeded in disabling the alien defenses long enough to sabotage their equipment and escape. The news of this victory spread quickly, bringing hope to survivors scattered around the globe. For the first time in months, humanity had tasted victory. Though the aliens retaliated swiftly, razing entire villages and wiping out significant portions of the resistance, the message was clear: humanity had a chance to fight back. And fight they would. The discovery of the alien shield weakness marked a turning point in humanity's battle for survival. But victories came at a steep price. The retaliations from the alien forces were brutal. The alien invaders, angered by the damage caused by the resistance, began a campaign of annihilation. Entire countries were razed to the ground as examples of what would happen to anyone who dared to oppose them. Thousands more were taken captive to serve as laborers or experiments for the alien invaders. But this small victory ignited a spark of resistance all across the world. Former enemies, nations that had long been at war, now stood united against a common foe. World leaders came together, finally realizing that to survive, they had to put aside their differences. The United Nations was reactivated, and this time, it was more than just a diplomatic organization. It became the central hub for organizing the global resistance. Governments, military leaders, and civilians all contributed to the effort. The resources available were limited, and many of Earth's great military forces had been decimated, but it didn't matter. The will to survive burned brighter than ever. Fighters from every nation, former soldiers, civilians, engineers, began to train in the ways of guerrilla warfare. These human resistance cells began operating deep in alien-occupied territories, sabotaging alien infrastructure, cutting off supply lines, and striking fast, like shadows in the night. Small victories began to accumulate. It wasn't enough to turn the tide of war, but it was enough to remind humanity that they were not yet finished. It was during one of these strikes in the heart of what had once been New York City that the resistance discovered something more about the aliens. The invaders weren't just here to conquer, they were here for something more. The true purpose of their invasion was far darker than anyone had imagined. The aliens were harvesting the Earth's resources, both its natural assets and its human population, for some unknown, sinister purpose. The resistance began to focus not just on fighting back, but on uncovering the alien agenda. Every new discovery brought humanity closer to understanding the enemy and gave them more insight into how to fight back. The invasion was far from over, but now humanity knew something the aliens didn't: they had the will to survive. And no matter how overwhelming the alien forces were, humanity would fight for every inch of their planet, no matter the cost. The world had changed beyond recognition.
Once vibrant cities were now desolate landscapes, scarred by alien weapons and the cruel rule of the invaders. Humanity's struggle had evolved from a desperate fight for survival into a calculated rebellion. The global resistance, born out of necessity, was now organized and efficient. The weapon developed by Dr. Eva Carter and her team had proven to be more than just a minor advantage, it was the key to breaking the aliens' dominance. With it, resistance forces were able to strike at the heart of alien strongholds, targeting their power sources and disrupting supply lines. Each victory, no matter how small, provided a glimmer of hope, a reminder that the invaders were not invincible. The resistance was no longer a scattered, disorganized band of survivors, it had become a formidable force. Cells of fighters, equipped with stolen alien tech and guided by the knowledge of Earth's best engineers and scientists, began coordinating their attacks. These humans were not merely fighting for survival anymore, they were fighting to take back their planet. Cities that had been lost to the aliens, such as Berlin and Tokyo, became the focal points of the Resistance's campaign. In these ruins, humanity fought fiercely, using the very remnants of their once great civilizations to create traps and weapons designed to counter the alien forces. They knew every inch of their terrain, every alley, every abandoned building, and they used that knowledge to their advantage. The world's armies, while decimated, were not without their final reserves. With the Resistance's successes, new recruits came forward, men and women of all backgrounds, eager to join the fight. Former soldiers, doctors, scientists, and even ordinary civilians who had never known war all answered the call. The resistance movement grew exponentially, and with it came a growing sense of unity that transcended national borders. People who once fought each other for power or resources now stood together in defense of their planet. It wasn't just a war for Earth's survival anymore, it was a war to restore humanity's dignity. Every city, every village that had been liberated was a testament to humanity's resilience. But with each success came more loss. The aliens, recognizing the growing threat, began to escalate their attacks. They unleashed more powerful weapons, aimed not only at cities but at human strongholds, wiping out entire factions of the resistance in a single blow. The human cost was unimaginable, entire families, entire communities were wiped out. There was no mercy in this war. The invaders had no interest in negotiation or compromise. Their goal was simple: total domination. And yet, in the face of overwhelming odds, humanity refused to yield. With every defeat, they grew stronger. Each fallen comrade, each devastated city, became a rallying cry, a reminder of what was at stake. The turning point came when the resistance managed to infiltrate one of the alien motherships, a massive, near-indestructible craft that had once seemed impregnable. With the help of their new weapons, the resistance managed to disable its shields, giving them the opportunity to board it. The final assault on the mothership was a blend of guerrilla warfare and pure determination. Humanity's finest warriors, led by Dr. Carter, pushed through alien defenses with the same relentless drive that had kept them going throughout the war. Each moment of victory was hard-won, and each step forward was bought with the blood of countless brave souls. Inside the mothership, the final confrontation occurred. The alien commanders, seemingly confident in their victory, underestimated the human resolve. Dr. Carter and her team, using the alien tech they had salvaged and reverse-engineered over the months, worked tirelessly to exploit the weaknesses in the mothership's systems. The aliens had never expected humanity to understand their technology well enough to fight back. But the human ingenuity that had led to breakthroughs in weaponry and tactics had turned the tide. The alien mothership, once the symbol of their unassailable power, began to crumble. The final battle, fought not just with weapons but with sheer will, marked the beginning of the end for the invaders. As the mothership exploded, a chain reaction of destruction rippled through the alien fleet. The energy from the mothership's core resonated throughout the alien ships, disabling their shields and rendering their advanced weapons useless. The alien forces, now vulnerable, began to retreat. The remaining alien ships, unable to withstand the onslaught, were destroyed one by one. Humanity had finally achieved the impossible, they had driven the aliens from their homeworld. The world was battered and scarred, but the people were still alive. The final push had been made, and humanity had emerged victorious. The alien threat had been vanquished, but the cost of that victory was immense. Earth lay in ruins, its landscapes forever altered by the war.
The cities humanity had once built with pride now stood as hollow reminders of the devastation they had suffered. The world's population had been decimated, and countless lives were lost in the fight for survival. Yet, in the face of total annihilation, humanity had triumphed. In the years that followed, Earth began its slow recovery. Rebuilding was a monumental task, but humanity had always been resilient. The scars of the war were everywhere on the land, in the hearts of those who survived, and in the memory of the fallen. But the people of Earth were determined to rebuild, to restore what had been lost. The memory of the invasion would never fade, but it would serve as a reminder of what humanity was capable of when united in the face of unimaginable adversity. As the survivors looked to the future, they understood one thing: they had proven something profound. The aliens had underestimated humanity's strength, its ingenuity, and its will to survive. In the end, it wasn't just the weapons or the technology that had defeated the invaders. It was the spirit of humanity itself, unbroken, unyielding, and defiant in the face of extinction. The Earth was theirs once more.